Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my wife, Karina. It's time for the live stream. The K1 visa, green card, spousal visa, tourist visa, live stream. Twice a week, we jump on the live stream for about an hour, hour and a half, give you all this free information on how to process a K1 visa, green card, etc. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, although I should probably get a job there because I can write a green card application in my sleep. It's not difficult to do. You don't need an immigration attorney to put a green card package together, unless you're a bad person. You know, you're a criminal with a felony. You got 10 felonies. Then you may not even qualify for the freaking green card or the K1 visa. Then you're going to have to get the advice of an immigration attorney to see if you even qualify for the visa. But that's the only time you'd ever really need an immigration attorney, unless you're just lazy, you don't feel like doing it yourself, and you want to pay somebody to do it. But that's money you're throwing away when you could use that money for your wedding or your honeymoon or a vacation. Now, today is January the 18th, 2025. Today's what, Saturday? January the 18th of Sábado, enero 18, 2025. Okay. On Monday, we have Donald Trump getting sworn in as president of the United States of America. On Monday, he gets sworn in as president of the United States. On Tuesday, I would say if you are an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, you best start getting ready to pack and leave and go home. Now, you got some of these Democrat senators and governors saying, oh, we're going to protect the illegal immigrants. Well, President Trump doesn't care, basically, what these people are saying. Because if you are in this country illegally, you didn't go, like we go through the due process. Karina went through a 2-year process to get her K1 visa. And then she got her green card. And she got her work permit. And she's here legally. And she got nothing to worry about. But you got these other people sneaking in across the border. They don't get biometrics done. They don't have a police check done. They don't fill out any paperwork. They don't do any consulate. They don't pay any consular fees. They basically jump in the line at Disney World. President Trump wants you to come to the United States legally. He doesn't want to stop you coming here. He wants you to do it the right way. Okay? Which is the way Karina did it. And the way you guys are doing it. But come Monday night, starting Tuesday morning, if you're in this country illegally, they're going to start looking for you. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're going to find you, okay? And they're going to deport you. Marvell Campbell, hey Diego and Karina. Marvell, what's going on? We hope you're doing well. We hope your family's doing good. I got plenty of mega dust here, mega pixie dust for everybody. And I've got Mountain Dew salutes ready to go. Bethlehem Gurma. Good evening, Diego and Karina. Bethlehem, what's going on? What's going on? And we got Marvell, received the rejected package today. Yeah, just read over it and then and fix it. Because you paid with a credit card, right? You paid with, they organized everything their way. They even opened the medical. Yeah, they're going to open everything up to see if there's anything wrong. But the only thing missing is you need to pay them. So what you got to do is, number one, don't pay with the credit card the second time around. Just write out a check. This is who you make out the check to. I'll write it right here. You make out a check to U.S. Let me put in capitals like Larry Piercy. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. That's who you're going to make out the check to. No, don't pay with a credit card. So if you're watching this video, guys, today, right now, on January 18th or tomorrow or in the future, and you're getting ready to file for a green card application or a K1 visa application, get a check, write a check. Make sure the money's in your checking account and just write a check. Personal check, or go get a cashier's check from the bank. Lots of banks today, they see a charge from USCIS for $1,440 or whatever it is, that's for an adult, including biometrics, not including the work permit. The bank's blocking the charge. They don't recognize the transaction. They say, what is this? And they're going to protect you, Mr. Sponsor, Ms. Sponsor, so they block the charge. And then your green card goes into limbo and you get it rejected and they send it back to you. Then you got to redo everything. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get your green card. You will get your green card. It just slows down the process if you don't, if they don't get paid. And it's not immigration's fault. It's the bank, and it's not your fault. It's the bank blocking the charge. Okay, I told you about my trip. I was in Colombia with Karina, and Karina got her K1 visa. She got it in her passport, and I went online with the laptop to pay for the plane tickets. I couldn't get it paid. The bank didn't recognize the charge in Florida. So I had to go in person and pay for the plane tickets with my credit card at El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, Colombia. Marvel, so I'm planning to resend the packet the way they sent it back with the payment. Yeah, there you go. Just resend it back with a check and you're good to go. But you want to use DHL, UPS, or FedEx. Don't use the U.S. Postal Service. Okay? Marvel, just overnight it using a courier service. I mean, the United States Postal Service does a good job for the most part. Okay, they do a good job. But it's a federal controlled entity. You want it controlled by a private company. Your green card application needs to be in the hands of a company that makes money. FedEx, UPS, DHL, they're a private company. They're going to handle your package like kid gloves, like it's gold. And they're going to make sure it gets to immigration. U.S. Postal Service is run by the federal government. I mean, and you see how the federal government runs things, right? Well, hopefully Trump's going to fix a bunch of those problems. How much were they spending on electric post office trucks? Electric trucks for the post office. Boy, they worked out to be what? Millions and millions of dollars per one. That's how the government mismanages your taxpayer money. Elon Musk was like looking at the price of a mail truck that's ran by an EV, an electric battery, and the company that took the contract from the federal government donated to Biden's campaign, and they're charging millions of dollars per truck. What a ripoff that was. That's my freaking money. Maru, good evening, Diego and Karina. What's going on? Maru is in the house, everybody. Renes in Texas. Hi, Diego. Has Nigeria stopped processing their K1s recently? My friend got an email saying as such. Well, who did they get the email from? Where did your friend get an email from? Who sent the email? USCIS, the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, the National Visa Center. Now, I don't believe half the stuff that comes out of the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center. I don't believe half the crap that comes out of there. They sent me an email when I was in Florida saying the National Visa Center that the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia was closed because of COVID. So I called up Karina and said, hey, is the U.S. Embassy in Bogota closed because of COVID? And Karina said, hold on. So Karina calls the embassy up and says, hey, are you guys closed because of COVID? Because the National Visa Center just sent my fiance an email saying that you're closed. And the U.S. Embassy in Bogota said, we're not closed. We just asked the NVC to hold off on sending us green card applications that have been approved in the month of July of 2023 because they were overwhelmed and they were backed up with work. And they said, just hold off for the month of July and start resending them again in August of 2023. So the NVC sent me an email plus hundreds of other people saying the embassy in Bogota is closed because of COVID. It wasn't true. And Karina went and then she went face to face. And then on the phone, the lady said, no, we're open. Everything's good here. There's no COVID here. Whenever the NVC send out a notice, and that says the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria is closed and they're not processing K1 visas, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Marvel, My I-485 sent in December says it expires on 3/31/2027. 20 pages. Do I now need to send the new form? You got to read. You got to use for the I-485 that you have to send. Listen, Marvell, look. Let me get the one for you so you can see it, right? I got a whole green card application in this desk right here, pretty much, for the paperwork anyway. Let's see what we got here. So we can get you on the right track. This, oh, I'm just knocking the camera. This is the I-485 application that you're going to use right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 24 pages and it's got an expiration date of 10/31/2027. You used 3/31/2027. Redo the I-485 on the new form. If you resend the old form back in, they're going to reject it again. Okay? So go into this website right here, uscis.gov/forms, and redo the form I-485. Redo the whole thing. Marvell, you got it. Okay, so that's the Mountain Dew salute. You're top of the class today. You knew that already. Because immigration now is going to look for any excuse to reject a green card application and give you more headaches. When Trump gets sworn in to the White House, to the office of the President of the United States on Monday, on Tuesday, he's going to start rounding up illegal immigrants with his team and deporting them all over the United States. Okay? Now, there's TV reports, if you watch the news, that says Chicago, they're going to start in Chicago. No, they're going to start everywhere. They're going to start in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in New York, in Knoxville, Tennessee, wherever there's illegal people in this country who shouldn't be here. Okay? Immigration's going to come look for you, process you, and send you home. My advice, because I don't want to see you get a bad immigration record by getting deported, what I would say you do is go home voluntarily. Just go home voluntarily and then reapply at the consulate the way you should have done it the right way in the first place, like you guys are doing, like Karina did. Okay? Marvell, remind everyone to pay separately because I didn't, so everything including the WOT work permit was delayed. Don't pay for your green card application or your K-1 visa or your work permit, otherwise known as an employment authorization document, which is an EAD. Pay with it in a check or a cashier's check. 9 people out of 10, okay, say this channel is the best in the whole world. And it is, right? I give you all this free information, doesn't cost you a penny, and you get to ask me questions and I give you the answers. I've got 10 years of doing this, okay? 10 years. I got more experience doing this than some immigration attorneys. So an immigration attorney goes to law school. That's good, very intelligent, takes the bar exam. Congratulations, it's a tough test. Becomes an attorney and then decides they want to be an immigration attorney. Well, why is that? Because there's millions and millions and millions of illegal immigrants in our country that shouldn't be here. Okay, why is it the United States of America puts up with this? Mexico doesn't. France doesn't. Colombia doesn't. If you're in Colombia illegally, if I was in Colombia as an illegal immigrant, they would find me. They'd jail me, then they would deport me. So why is it when we do it in America, we're the bad people, we're the bad guys? That's what irritates me. If you want to come to America, come legally. And Karina, right here, she came legally, and she's going to be here for the rest of her life in the great, beautiful United States of America. She's going to have her 10-year green card next year, and then she's going to become a U.S. citizen. And then we don't have to do paperwork anymore. Are we going to stop helping you? No, we're going to keep the channel going. When Karina we'll take you through the whole process. When Karina applies for her 10-year green card in March of 2026, we'll take you through the process. We'll show you how to do it. When she becomes a U.S. citizen, when she applies for U.S. citizenship, she's going to fill out Form N-400. Now you can do that form online, but you cannot file for a green card from a K-1 or for a K-1 visa. You cannot file that. You cannot do it online. You got to do a paper. You got to do everything by paper. Marvell agreed. Joel Adams, if married and if adjustment of status is denied, does the fiance have to deport or can they still stay? Joel, if you come to the United States of America and you file for a green card at the adjustment of status and it's denied, the person can file, you go to a federal courthouse and file for an immigration judge to make a decision on it. Go in front of an immigration judge. You don't have to go. You don't deport right away. You can refile it if there's an error. You can refile the green card application. Say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I messed up, and I'm going to repay. You got to redo everything and pay the fee again for the second time. And if that doesn't work, you ask for a judge to review your case. Say, look, I didn't do anything wrong. Why did I get my green card denied? Let a federal judge to make the decision. And then the federal judge will say yes or no. Yes, you can stay. No, you can't. Okay? So you don't just jump on a plane and deport yourself right away if your green card is denied. Reapply again and with the error corrected. They say your green card has been denied because of this. So reapply with the correction, but you got to pay the fee over again and see what happens. And then they might say, okay, you're good. But they may deny it a second time. Then you go to a federal judge and ask for help. Then you don't even need an immigration attorney to do that. Okay, you just file for a, you tell immigration to reconsider your case and you want an immigration judge to determine it for you. Okay, so Joel has a question. If you get married, okay, that's good, and the adjustment of status is denied, does the fiance have to deport? Not right away. You can challenge it. They can stay while they challenge the process. Okay, and maybe I should make a video on how you can challenge a denied green card application. But it depends on why the green card was denied. If you don't qualify for the benefit, let's suppose you filed for the K1 visa and everything went smoothly, and then the green card was denied because of a failure because immigration found out something about your green card application that was fraudulent. Then you're done. Nothing you can do. Aquarius, hello Diego. My fiance and I. Let me say it. Aquarius, hello Diego. I picked my fiance up today from the airport. Whoa, that's a Mountain Dew salute for Aquarius. Thanks again for everything. I have to print the I-94. Yes, Aquarius, Mountain Dew salute. You have to print 6 copies of the I-94. Congratulations, Aquarius. You need 6 copies of the I-94. Okay, why do you need 6 copies? Why do you have to print 6 copies of the I-94? Well, you need one. You need one for the Social Security Administration because you want to get your fiance a Social Security card as soon as you can so that he can get on your bank account as a joint holder, as a joint bank account holder. That's number one you got to do. Get him on the bank. Get the Social Security card. Well, you got to get married, obviously. That's the first thing you got to do within 90 days. You got to get married within 90 days. But you want to get 6 copies of the I-94. 1 copy is going to go to the Social Security Administration for his Social Security card. You're going to put another copy in with the 2-year CR1 conditional green card application. You're going to have an I-94 in your back pocket, in his back pocket, in his wallet, in his jacket, in the glove box of your car. Because you got to prove that's your The I-94 is your legal residency status in the United States while you're waiting for the green card. The I-94, when it expires, you won't be able to get your Social Security card, but you can still live in the United States on an expired I-94 while you're waiting for the green card to get adjudicated. You're good. But you need 6 copies, 1 for the Social Security office, 1 for the glove box of your car, 1 for his wallet, 1 for the 2-year green card application, and then 2 extra ones in case you lose one. Maru, hey Diego, do I need to include my tax transcript in the K1 visa application before I mail it off? Yes. When you file for your K1 visa application, it's not mandatory, but I strongly recommend that you do this. You fill out the I-134, Declaration of Financial Support, you get your last tax return, and your W-2s, 1099s if you get those, and include it in the K1 visa application. This financial information is actually required at the embassy interview, okay? When you go to the security visa interview, that's when you got to bring all the financial documents. But if you include your last year's tax return in the K1 visa package, that will give the immigration person who is adjudicating your case a warm and fuzzy feeling about your income, and it will help get it approved a lot easier. You want to add strength to the K1 visa application, and you do that by including the tax return, the last tax return. Make sure that those tax returns also go to the embassy interview. And then you're going to need a last year's tax return for the green card application. Okay? So Maru says, do I need to include my tax transcripts? Yes. But you're probably not going to be able to get the tax transcript for 2024 because you don't file those taxes till between now and April. So you're not going to be able to get the tax transcript for your 2024 tax return, okay, because they haven't created it yet. But you can include the 1040 and your W-2s and your 1099s if you get 1099s. Include those. But it's not going to be possible to get a tax transcript for your 2024 tax return because number one, you probably haven't filed for those taxes yet. You're going to probably do that in the next month or 2 or 3. So but you can get your tax transcript for your 2023 tax returns. That's easy to do. You can get that in about 5 days, and it's free. Okay. Aquarius, do you show the I-94 on visa when flying to another state? No. When you get to America and you want, let's suppose Karina and I were going to, let's not use Karina as an example because she has a green card, okay? And a driver's license. But let's suppose you get to America, you've been here for about 2 weeks, you got married, and you want to go visit some friends and family that live across the country. When you travel within the United States of America, okay, you don't need a green card, but you're going to need your passport and the I-94 because you're not going to get interrogated by immigration when you fly inside the United States. They're not going to harass you. Immigration is not going to bother you. The TSA is going to just check your passport. Oh, okay, this is you. Okay, have a nice trip. But bring your I-94 with you to show that you entered the country legally. And that's it. You're good. So do you need to show the I-94? Probably not. I doubt it. But bring it with you in case they ask to see it. They may ask to see it. So what is Diego's secret recipe for success? Be prepared for any contingency. So have it with you. Maru, okay, thanks. I will include my W-2 and 2023 tax transcripts. Yeah, there you go. But make copies, okay? Make sure you got copies of this. Put copies in there. Put those 2023 tax transcripts and 1040s, etc. The 1040 and W-2. Make copies of them. Don't send the originals. Maru, I'm trying to put in as much information in the K1 application. That is a Mountain Dew salute right there. That's a Mountain Dew salute. You know why? Because that's how you get a successful K1 application. You put as much stuff in that K1 visa application as you possibly can that identifies your income. It identifies your relationship. It shows that you're in a real relationship. Make sure you got pictures in there going back over the entire duration of your relationship, so immigration can build a linear timeline of how long you've been together. If you fly to a country, you meet somebody online, right? And you chat with them for 2 weeks, and then you fly, go meet them, and you spend a week with them, and then you fly back to America. You've been together a month, and then you decide you want to put a K1 visa package together. Do you qualify because Congress says you got to meet each other once, and you got to send in the K1 visa application within 2 years of meeting each other? Yes. Would you get the K1 visa? No, probably not. You've only known each other a month. How did you establish a relationship? You want to date, you want to be in a relationship for at least a year before you file the freaking visa. Right? We dated a year. And then I lived in Colombia with Karina for 2 years and plus. Nina Balin, did Karina pass her driving test? Yes. Karina passed her Florida driving test in September. First time. First, she had to sit down and take the exam on the computer in the government office on the signs, the road signs. And that test was pretty freaking hard. But she passed the test first time. Remember, Karina's all degreed up with tax. She's got a degree in tax accounting. She studied hard and she passed her driving science test. And then she had to take the driving test. And she passed that first time. She did good. Because there's people that don't pass it first time because it's a tough test. In Florida, it is. I don't know about other places, but in Florida, it's a pretty tough test. Chris and Emil, I heard you guys going to get ice storm Tuesday. Okay. An ice storm. Tormenta con hielo. She said, it's possible, but okay. Okay, we'll just hang out in the ice storm. But we don't live in Alaska where it's ice storms every day in the wintertime. Or upstate New York where it's freaking cold all the time in the wintertime. Now, New York is a great place to go on vacation. But when I lived there in 1982, the weather sucked right up to April. So I moved to Florida when I was a teenager. Maru, we have been dating since 2022. Wow, good. And I have traveled 3 times to see him in Cameroon. Very good. Maru, viaje 3 tiempo y avión y Cameroon. 3 tiempo. En juntos 2022. Karina understood that. Her English is getting better and better. Remember, the secret to Karina's next successful adventure is learning English and becoming a US citizen. That's the goal now. That's what she's working on now. But we can't apply for US citizenship until 3 years since the issue date of her 2-year green card. So 2022, that's a good long time. Make sure you keep all the boarding passes, Maru, all those trips. You made 3 times to see him. You should have 3 sets of boarding passes, flying to Cameroon, returning to the USA, flying to Cameroon, returning to the USA, 3 times. You should have 6, let me see, 1, 2. You should have, I don't care, unless you got a bunch of connecting flights, you want to keep all of those boarding passes. And if you have any Cameroon visa stamps in your passport, you want to take a picture of them with your cell phone, send it to your computer and print copies of your visa stamps when you entered Cameroon. And you've done that 3 times. So you should have 3 visa stamps when you enter and when you leave. I don't know what the visa requirements are for Cameroon. I don't think there's any difficulty in flying to that country. But here's something you got to think about. All right. If you want to fly to England or Europe, you gotta pay an hour visa fee. I'm serious. If you are an American citizen and you want to fly to England, you got to pay a visa fee. I mean, how insane is that? They're going to lose tourists Tourists are going to go, okay, well, we'll just go to Colombia because we don't have to pay a visa fee to fly to Colombia. You know, and then if you fly into Europe, like France or Italy or somewhere like that, then you got to pay a visa fee, a different name. It's got a different name. You got to pay a visa fee for that. I'm like, you know, I went on vacation. I was stationed in Italy in the Navy. I went on vacation to Malta. And then I went from Malta, I went on vacation to England. I didn't have to pay a visa fee. I just went and visited, spent a bunch of stupid money, and came back to Italy with the Navy. If they told me I had to pay an ETA or whatever it is, a visa fee, I wouldn't go. I said, okay, I'll just stay in Italy. Forget about it. Maru, yes, there was a visa fee for Cameroon. Okay. Now, if you want to fly to Egypt, there's a visa fee to enter Egypt. You enter the airport. I think it's $25. You go to a little machine, and okay, there's it, and you pay for the visa, and then they get it and you put it in your passport. I think it's $25 to get a visa to enter Egypt. I don't know how much it is to enter Cameroon, but if you want to fly to England and Europe now, you got to go through another freaking hurdle. Americans don't have patience for that kind of stuff. We don't do it. We go somewhere else. When Brazil said they're going to start implementing visas for Americans, I was in Colombia with Karina. We were going to fly to Brazil and go see her brother. And let's go to Brazil. Why not? Right? And then the new government, the new socialist, whatever, commie government of Brazil, they created this visa fee for Americans. So Karina and I said, no, we ain't going to Brazil. So we went somewhere else in Colombia for a vacation. I mean, every time there's a block every time you put a block in front of an American to go somewhere, they don't go. They go somewhere else where there's no block, for the most part. Chris and Emil, since Trump is in office, will they let others fly to Russia? You can fly to Russia if you want. You can't fly directly to Russia. I mean, I wouldn't fly to Russia directly across Ukraine. You might get freaking shot down by Ukraine. If you want to go to Russia, you can go to Russia, but you got to go a different way. Okay, you just have to figure out the route. What countries allow planes to enter Russia? But why would you want to go to Russia? I mean, seriously, especially in the wintertime, it's like freezing cold and snow. It's colder than New York. But you can get to Russia. Trump's not going to stop you from flying to Russia. You can fly to Russia now if you want. But you just got to figure out how to get there. There's a specific route you got to take. You just can't fly from the United States to Russia. You have to go from the United States to somewhere else, maybe to somewhere else. You know, maybe to Kazakhstan or to Uzbekistan or Afghanistan. Okay? You know, when you watch the news about Afghanistan and you think the place is terrible, it's really not. The airport in Baghdad is beautiful. It's like a modern U.S. airport. It's not dangerous to fly to Iraq. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful place. It's just that, you know, under the Bush administration, he decided to invade freaking Iraq and destroy the place. Iraq didn't do anything wrong. We did. Not we as in Americans, the Bush administration. I mean, I tell you, if we got the government shrunk down in size, we'd have less problems in the world, right? Why did Russia invade Ukraine? Why? Because the United States government was building freaking missile silos in Poland. Whenever the Soviet Union collapsed and became the Russian Federation, which is what everybody wanted in Russia, they want to be free like us. When the Russian Federation became the Russian Federation, there was a lot of countries that were ran by the Soviet Union that became independent, you know, in the Baltic states, etc. So what did they do? They started to join NATO. Then what did the Russians do? Wait a second. We gave you freaking freedom, and now you're joining NATO. And then the United States government started putting freaking missile bases in Poland. The Russians didn't like that. What if the Russians started putting missile bases in Cuba? We would have we wouldn't put up with that. What if the Russians put missile bases in Venezuela and pointed them at Washington, D.C.? What would we do? Well, we would take over Venezuela, right? So when the Polish government put up American missile bases pointed at Russia, Russia got pretty freaking nervous. And then Ukraine said they wanted to join NATO, which means that they would have been able to put missile bases in Ukraine. Russia said, we're not playing that game. So they invaded the Ukraine under some kind of special mission. I'm not saying Putin should have done that. I'm saying he shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. That's a bad thing to do. But the United States government should not be putting freaking missiles in Poland, pointing at Russia. Anyway, that's enough on that. Fitterman. Hey, Diego, my wife got her green card. Mountain Dew salute. Good job there. Excellent. Fitterman. My question is, she was able to fly to Europe. Is she able to fly to Europe to visit for 1 to 2 weeks? Yes. You can travel on a 2-year green card out of the country, but you have to make sure you bring all the evidence of your relationship with you so that the Border Patrol won't give you a hard time, immigration and customs, whatever you want to call them, they won't give you a hard time when you return. So if you travel into Europe for a 2-week vacation, okay, you can do that, but bring your marriage certificate, bring your U.S. driver's license, bring the deed to your house or your apartment lease agreement, bring your copies of your bills that you are on joint responsibility for, the water bill, the electric bill. Bring all the evidence of cohabitation. So when you return from your vacation back to the United States and you get a Border Patrol officer in Customs and Immigration that says, hey, you just got your green card. Why are you leaving the country? What's up with that? And then you say, well, I went on vacation for 2 weeks. Okay. Well, what is your relationship in the United States? What are you, and you're going to, hopefully your American citizen sponsor will travel with you. Okay. But here's the deal with Karina and I. We are not leaving America until Karina's a U.S. citizen and she has a U.S. passport. And then we're going to travel. We'll go to Colombia. Hopefully we can go to Venezuela. Hopefully Trump removes Maduro from office because Maduro said he wants to invade Puerto Rico. Trump's like, all right, really? Okay, Maduro. Maduro's on thin ice, guys. The dictator of Venezuela is not going to be in Venezuela much longer, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to last another 3 or 4 months or 5 months. 6 months, probably the most. And Karina's like, are you sure? I said, yeah, trust me. Maduro's done. Trump don't play around. When Maduro said he wants to invade Puerto Rico with Brazilian troops, Trump is listening. But he kept his mouth shut, which I like. He kept his mouth shut. But he's got plans for Maduro. You heard it here, right? Fitterman, I'm actually from Iraq. Well, a Mountain Dew salute to everybody in Iraq and to you. Specifically the Kurdistan region, and a Mountain Dew salute to the Kurds, the Kurdistans. I can say I personally feel it's the best and safest place on earth. I'm not afraid to go to freaking Iraq or Kurdistan. I would love to go there. The airport in Baghdad is like going into I don't know, like Miami International. It's a 21st century airport. Iraq is beautiful. It's a beautiful place. You know, I'm just angry that the U.S. government went in and destroyed it for you guys over nothing, over lies from, this past history. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm not loyal to my country, the United States of America. I'm loyal to the United States and I do what I'm told when I was in the military. But that invasion was totally unconstitutional. And people should have been prosecuted for it. Let me see. Fitterman, it's the safest place on earth. And I don't disagree with you. Baghdad is not dangerous to go to Baghdad. Mr. Somebody, Diego, it took 5 months for us to get the green card approved. That's right, Mr. Somebody. It's taken between 6 to 9 months to get it approved, but you got it in 5 months. So that means you put together a fantastic green card application. You had to put together a very strong, very solid, totally easy adjudication for immigration. When immigration finds it's an easy adjudication, you're going to get your green card in 5 months. Fitterman, yes, sir. Iraq would have been what the UAE is today, but due to corrupt government, that never happened. Right. Now, here's the thing, right? Saddam Hussein, what did he do? He invaded Kuwait. That was stupid, right? But Saddam Hussein went back in history and said, wait a second, Kuwait used to be a part of Iraq. So I'm just going to annex Kuwait and make it a part of Iraq again, because he needed the water port entry for the ships to go in and out of. Okay, fair enough, right? But you don't invade other countries. Russia shouldn't have invaded Ukraine. Saddam Hussein shouldn't have invaded Kuwait. I was over there in that part of the woods when that happened. Okay? The corruption in government is the problem. And the founding fathers in the United States of America, our founding fathers, George Washington, the father of our country, they put together a constitution that protects all of you coming to America. If you are coming here and you get a green card, you are protected under the Constitution. The Biden administration didn't pay attention to the Constitution, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but from what I could see, they basically shredded the Constitution. They did whatever the hell they wanted to do. Trump's going to fix all that starting on Monday. Tuesday is going to be a different America. And the world is going to be a safer place. Mr. Somebody, we followed your video instructions. There you go. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute. If you follow the video that I've made for you guys, you'll get your green card, you'll get your K1 visa, you'll get your spousal visa, as long as you qualify for the benefit. If you qualify, you'll get it. Just watch the videos. Or you can pay an immigration attorney $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, and they'll do the paperwork for you. But isn't it much better if you do the paperwork yourself and keep control of that visa and green card in your own house and don't put all that? What happens to your social security number when you use an immigration attorney? Well, they're going to need that. They need your social security number. They're going to need your date of birth, your mom's and dad's date of birth. They're going to want to know your entire history of your family. Do you know this immigration attorney? Who is this person? You don't know who he is or she is. Just do it yourself. Fitterman, good insight. I agree with you completely. Yeah, I would love to go and visit Iraq, okay? But not with a freaking rifle. With a handshake and peace, in peace. Trump, okay, does not like to bomb people. He doesn't like war. When we had Trump in office for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, American military didn't invade any countries. We didn't bomb anybody. We didn't threaten anybody. And we kept our noses out of everybody's freaking business. Right? And there was world peace. And everybody was kind of happy. When Biden was elected president, 11 embassies closed because of war or destabilized political. It was a horrible 4 years, guys, and he's out of here. And we're going to restore sanity back to the freaking White House. Aquarius, okay, fiance is here now, so can you give me a month to file, March or April? You want to file, Aquarius, you want to file for your green card about 50 or 60 days after you get married, which will give you plenty of time to put together a green card application. Karina arrived in the United States on January 3rd, 2024. We got married on January 14th, 2024. We just had our 1 year anniversary a few days ago. We filed for the green card on February 29th, 2024. So it was about 58 days. And in those 58 days, we got her social security number. We got her on the water bill, the electric bill, the trash bill. We got pictures together with family and friends. We went to see my brother and hang out with him and my nephew, right? And we got pictures. We didn't stop taking pictures. This process doesn't stop until you're a U.S. citizen. Okay. So Aquarius, you want to file for the green card about 50 or 60 days after you got married and put together all the evidence, bank statements. You want to include at least 2 bank statements showing that you are joint holders on this bank account. Fitterman, we love Trump, absolutely the best president. Fitterman, President Trump, okay, isn't going to bomb Iraq. He's not going to bomb Syria. He's not going to bomb anybody, okay, unless somebody attacks us first, which isn't going to happen because Trump's he rebuilt the military once. He's going to restructure it again, I'm sure. There's a lot of stuff goes on in the military that's got to be fixed, but he's not going to bomb anybody. If Iraq has a problem with Iran, that's between Iraq and Iran. It's not between us. It's not our concern. It's our concern for global stability, obviously, but we're not going to stick our nose in there. You know, we are $37 trillion in debt for the economy. You know, with the Biden administration spent money we don't have. They've given money to Ukraine every freaking week. We can't afford to do that. Why are American taxpayers paying the salaries of firefighters in Ukraine? We should just make Ukraine the 51st state and Canada the 52nd state. But we're not going to do that. I'm serious, okay? President Trump is going to build a very strong military. It's going to be and if you are in the United States as a legal green card holder, you got nothing to fear from Trump. And when you become a U.S. citizen, if you become a U.S. citizen while Trump is in office, you'll get a letter from Trump. He's not going to sign every letter personally. He's going to sign one letter, and then you're going to get a copy of it. He'll welcome you to America. Why would he do that? Well, he knows you went through a very strict screening process. You had a medical exam that was very strict. Then you had a second medical exam in the United States. And then you had a biometrics. And you had it's not easy to become a resident of the United States. And President Trump knows that. So if you are here on a green card, when Trump gets sworn in on Monday, just relax. You're good. He's not going to do anything to you. President Trump's wife, okay, came to America on a work visa, and then she got a green card. So, I mean, do you think Trump is going to go after green card holders? His own wife was a green card holder. Melania. No, he's not going to do that. But if you are in this country illegally, he's going to find you and he's going to deport you with his team. It's just the law of the land. Peace through strength, said Mr. Somebody. Yeah, peace through strength. The United States is the global leader, but we got to stop putting our noses in other people's business. Okay? Even opinions need to be kept quiet. If let's suppose in Mexico and Panama have a disagreement, okay, that's none of our business. Let Mexico and Panama figure it out. But I got a feeling that the U.S. government's going to go back in and retake the Panama Canal because we built it, we paid for it, and then Jimmy Carter sold it for $1. Who does that? I mean, that's insanity, you know? So now the communist Chinese control the Panama Canal, and they're charging American ships outrageous fees to pass through. If I was Trump, I would be talking to the country north of Panama and say, hey, would you like it? How would you like us to build a canal through your country? I don't know. I'm not Trump, but I think Trump's just going to go in there and say, we paid for the Panama Canal and we are not going to sell it for $1 and we're going to take it back. And we're going to control it until the Panamanians government blocks the communist Chinese from coming in. I don't know, guys. We're going to put pixie dust all over everybody's green card application. We're going to put pixie dust over everybody's K-1 visa application. If don't be stressing out President Trump. We're going to have the most calmest planet, in the world, the whole world is going to be calm. It's going to be relaxed. Nobody's going to be fighting. The only country that I would say needs to worry about Trump is Maduro in Venezuela. Okay, communist Cuba, Trump's not worried about them. They're like a little flea on a dog's butt. They're irrelevant. The communist government of Cuba is irrelevant. They're useless. They're worthless. They're like the mayor of Los Angeles. Okay, worthless and useless. Just my opinion. If you like the mayor of Los Angeles, okay, but I don't. Trump's going to be looking at Venezuela, and he's going to be telling Maduro, Mr. Maduro, I recommend you leave Venezuela and go somewhere else to live, because the Venezuelan people don't want you there. There's what, 8 million, 10 million Venezuelans left Venezuela when Maduro went in there, at least 10 million. And they got legal residency around, in Colombia, Brazil, Uruguay, Chile, Peru, Panama, and the United States of America. There's thousands of Venezuelans that live in Miami, Florida. President Trump gave them protective status right before he left office in 2020. And then Biden started to deport Venezuelans. And then all of a sudden he changed his mind. And a few days ago, I think, or last week, he signed another protective order to protect Venezuelans after he spent the last 4 years deporting them back to communist Venezuela. Biden he's out of here. He's gone. He's done. Trump's going to be in here. He's going to fix the immigration. He's going to fix the borders. He's going to secure the borders. And then folks like us and people like you are going to find that your green card applications and your K-1 visa applications will get processed a lot quicker, because immigration is going to be spending time on you guys and not on illegal immigrants who are crying for a freaking asylum. Mexico's a beautiful country. I've been to Mexico about 3 or 4 times. I went to Cozumel. I've been to Nogales. I'm like, why are Mexicans claiming a political asylum in the United States, in San Diego? There's nothing wrong with Mexico. I think it's a great country. I mean, it's warm. It's got a good economy. They got a freaking stupid president, but that's okay. They're going to learn. The Mexicans are going to learn not to vote for communism. Just like Colombians, they voted for Petro. He's a communist. And then they regretted it 2 weeks after he was sworn into office. And all the taxi drivers went on strike in Cartagena because the price of gas in Colombia doubled because Petro tried to block oil drilling. Communism doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. Mr. Somebody, look at that. A super chat from Mr. Somebody. Thank you so much. So you learned a lot from the videos, right? You learned how to put a K-1 visa package together. You learned how to put a green card package together. Mountain Dew salute. Good job, Mr. Somebody. We're glad that we helped you. We want to reunite families. Karina and I want you guys to get reunited with your families and come live in America. I don't care if you're from Iraq, if you're from Syria, if you're from Iran, if you are a good person and you're in love with an American and you get screened properly, come on in. If you're from Russia, if you're from Ukraine, we welcome you to America. If you're from communist Cuba and you're not a communist, we welcome you to America. You just can't be a communist. Under congressional law, if you were a member of the Communist Party, you can't get a visa to come to this country. Under congressional law. Or you have to resign your position in the Communist Party, and you got to wait 2 years before you can apply for a visa, K-1, tourist, whatever. Under Biden, anybody could come in. Communist Chinese were infiltrating our border by the hundreds. They were trying to sneak into our military bases. They're hacking our computers, flying drones over the United States, flying balloons over military bases. And what did Biden do about it? Nothing. He didn't do anything. I don't know what else to say. I got no problems, I helped a young lady from Iran get her K-1 visa. She was in Iran. I told her, I said, once you go, you're not going to be able to get your K-1 visa in Tehran. Okay, so I got her to Turkey. I told her how to do it. She flew to Turkey. She had her K1 visa interview in Turkey. Then she said to me, oh, I'm going to fly back to Iran. I'm going to get my clothes and my shoes and my Adidas sweatshirt. And because the Iranian people, they love America. The Iranian people don't have a problem with America. It's the freaking mullahs, or whatever they call them, the Shah, not the Shah, the religious leaders. They're the folks who control Iran. The people, the women, the men, the children, they love Americans. Okay? So I told her, do not return to Iran to get your freaking clothes. So she got her K1 visa in Boston to her passport in Turkey. And she said, I got to go get my clothes in Tehran. I said, no. The minute you enter into immigration in Tehran, they're going to see you have a U.S. visa in your passport. What are they going to do? They're going to tear the visa and throw it in the trash, and they're going to hole punch your passport so you can't use it. You don't go back to Tehran. You get on a plane from Ankara, Turkey, and you fly, and she flew to San Diego. And then she thanked me for that advice. Okay? Because if she had gone back to Iran, it's not the people who are bad, it's the government. You know, wherever there's a bad government, the people suffer, or there's a war, right? We want Russia and Ukraine to stop fighting each other. Why do they stop? Somebody asked President Trump, they asked him a question. They said, who do you want to win? Ukraine or Russia? And Trump said, I want people to stop killing each other. That's what he said. That means there's no winners in war, right? Nobody wins. Nobody wins in a war. Nobody wins. You got to stop fighting. The Russians and the Ukrainians got to stop killing each other. They're like brothers fighting half brothers. It's insane. Trump's going to stop it. Okay? I could talk about the problems with the Gaza Strip and Israel and the West Bank, but those wars have been going on for 2,000-3,000 years. And they're going to go on for another 2,000 or 3,000 years. So I'm not even going to put my opinion in there. Okay? The wars are going to, the Middle East, Israel and the Palestinians are going to be fighting each other for the next 1,000 years. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. So you just stay out of it. We should be sticking our nose in there in their business, okay? But I will help you get your K1 visa. I will help you get your green card. I don't care what country you're from. As long as you qualify and as long as you make it through the screening process, which has been put in place by the Congress, which President Trump's going to enforce. Biden never enforced it, okay? And he started to deport Venezuelans right away. I'm like, people escape from communism because they're conservative or they're anti-communist, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be some bad people that come into the United States from Venezuela, from not just from Venezuela, other countries. When there's no screening process in place, bad people come in, like Karina was telling me about the gangs in Venezuela that Maduro let out of prison and let them run up into the United States, and Biden let them in. Oh, come on in. And they were taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Trump's going to stop all that. Now, this channel isn't political. It's not political, okay? It's me helping you get your green card and your K1 visa. It's Karina helping you with moral support. Karina knows the process. She learned it from me. The goal is to get you the green card and the K1 visa. But I talk about the politics of some countries because it affects green card applications. It affects green and K1 visas. If you are an American citizen in love with a Russian, you can't go to the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and have your K1 visa interview. You have to go to Poland or somewhere else. If you are a Palestinian and you love somebody from America, there's no embassy, there's no consulate. What do you do? How do you get your visa? If you are Israeli, or if you're from Egypt. Now, Egypt borders the Gaza Strip. There's like a border there between Egypt and the Gaza Strip. Okay? It's people killing people. It's got to stop, people. And Trump is that's his goal. restore stability in the world, and fix the economy of our country. When the United States economy is fixed and everybody starts to get rich again and not poor, when people start getting rich again, then other people start getting rich again and other countries start getting rich again. That's Trump's goal. Trump is a deal maker and a capitalist. He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's a conservative capitalist that wants all the ships to rise in the water when he fixes our economy. Biden destroyed our economy with inflation. And it hurt the K-1 visa process. It hurt his actions during COVID, hurt the K-1 visa process. He closed all the freaking embassies around the world. That hurt the K-1 visa process. It should never have happened. Estelle Limagum, hey Diego, thanks for your help and for this success story. Yeah, the success is when you get your K-1 visa. The first step is to get your K-1 visa. The second step is to make it through the interview at the embassy. And the third step is to get your green card. Now, President Trump may do this. He may say that you have to, when you apply for your 10-year green card, you have to go to another visa interview. That's a possibility. But don't worry about it. If Karina and I have to go to another visa interview to get her 10-year green card, okay, where do we go? Let's go. We'll jump in the car and go do it. It's no big deal because we are in a real relationship. We've been together a long time, and we're not afraid of it. The only people that need to be scared of a visa interview are those people that are in a fraudulent green card application. Trump will deport you. If he finds an I missing, if he doesn't see a dot over an I on your package and it creates a problem, you're out of here. So don't mess up your paperwork. When you apply for your K-1 visa, don't mess up your paperwork. Don't make any mistakes. Make sure you spell your beneficiary's name correctly. Make sure you put her or his passport number in there correctly. Don't transpose numbers. Any errors that immigration can find in a K-1 visa application, they're going to stop it and they're going to send it back to you, or they may deny it. Okay? President Trump, I know this for a fact. When he was president in 2016 to 2020, if you were filed for a green card application, that's fine. He didn't stop you from getting your green card. But if you filled out the paperwork incorrectly and you got an RFE, okay, here's the RFE, the request for further evidence. If you didn't respond to the RFE correctly, your green card was denied. Trump said, if you can't fill out paperwork properly, you don't belong in the country. Seriously. And he's right. If you don't pay attention to paperwork, if you don't pay attention to detail, if you rush the process, if you try to skip the line, there's going to be problems. But if you take your time, if you're patient, if you follow due process and you fill out the paperwork correctly and you watch all the videos I've made on how to do this, you'll be fine and you're not going to have a problem. Okay? But what do I want to see for 2025? And Karina and I, what do we want to see? We want to see Israel and the Palestinians stop fighting each other. We want to see the Russians and the Ukrainians stop killing each other. We want to see Russia prosper as a country. We want to see Ukraine prosper as a country. Russia used to have over 600 McDonald's restaurants in Russia, at least. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. McDonald's was they were all over Russia, and other American companies. I mean, Putin basically decimated his own economy because of why? Because he was scared of the missiles that were put in Poland by the U.S. government, and he was scared that Ukraine was going to become a part of NATO because he felt threatened. Can you imagine if communist Cuba became a part of I don't know, North Korea? The U.S. government wouldn't take too kindly for that, and we would probably go and invade Cuba, right? Putin was feeling scared. He'll never say that, but that's just my opinion. From being in the military for 20 years, I learned how to read political situations strategically. I read political situations strategically, and I'm usually pretty right and really spot on the nail. And I just don't want you guys to get your green cards messed up and your K-1 visas messed up because you make a stupid mistake on paperwork. But I've got to give everybody a Mountain Dew salute because you put up with me today talking politics, but it all interacts with green cards. The political stability of the world interacts and all ties into the green card process and the K-1 visa process. Senator Marco Rubio is now going to be the Secretary of he's going to be the Secretary of State. Now, Marco Rubio, as Secretary of State, he's going to be the man in charge of all the embassies around the world. Marco Rubio's family came from communist Cuba. They got out of Cuba and they moved to Miami. Okay? So, Marco Rubio, with Cuban roots, who escaped communism, is now the Secretary of State. Do you think he's going to try to block you from getting your green card? No, he's not. He's not going to do that. Is he going to stop you from getting your K-1 visa? Is he going to make it harder at the embassies? No. He just wants you, he wants you to get your green card. His family's from Cuba. President Trump's wife is from Slovakia, I think. I can't remember where Melania Trump is from, but she's not a U.S. citizen. She's a green card. She was a green card holder that became a U.S. citizen, just like you guys, just like Karina. So don't panic over a Trump administration. The only people that should be worried about a Trump administration is illegal immigrants. If you come in here illegally, go home and go to the embassy or the consulate and apply properly. Do the process properly. Because if you don't, you're out of here. Honestly, Trump doesn't care where you live. If you live in a sanctuary city like Los Angeles or Chicago, Trump doesn't care. He's going to send the federal government in there and find you, arrest you, and deport you. And if the government of California tries to block Trump, that's a congressional violation of law. Seriously. Let's suppose a county commissioner or somebody like a county commissioner in Chicago won't give over information to Immigration and Customs Enforcement about particular illegal immigrants in that town. That person can be prosecuted by the federal government. Trump's going to do it. So if you are a government in the United States that's going to protect illegal immigrants, you're going to be prosecuted too. Trust me. You heard it here first. But I want to see you guys get your green cards. I want to see you get your K-1 visas. If you got them, you're going to be fine. Trump's not going to deport you. Karina doesn't worry about Trump. She's got no worries. She knows she's here legally. She has her green card. She's good to go, just like you guys. But I want to say, Mr. Somebody, thank you for that super chat. And Francois, Francois just jumped on the live stream. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Now, Francois, how did that dinner date go with Hamid and all your friends? That was today, or was that tomorrow? Oh, look at that. Francois Livingston. Sorry I'm late. We just got back from dinner. No, you're not late, Francois. Nobody is ever late. You had a great dinner? Okay. But you were with a bunch of friends. Hibachi. Okay. Komida is hibachi. That's Japan. Japanese, right? Is that Japanese food? It is, right? Huh? And it's Arabic. No, it's Arabic food. That's good. Karina loves that kind of food. I like Arabic food. I like Indian food. I like Filipino food. I like English food. I like all kinds. Curry, Thai food. Hibachi is yummy. But the thing is, Francois, you were with a group of friends. Hopefully you got a bunch of pictures with everybody. It's Japanese. Yes, I thought it was Japanese. But I was in Egypt. I've been to Egypt 4 times when I was in the Navy, and I went on a bus ride into the middle of the desert, the Sahara Desert, in a big tent, and I had this big dinner in a big tent in the Sahara Desert in Egypt in 1990, right before Desert Storm started, right before that stupidity. It was excellent food. And Francois, how was the what's hibachi? Did you have is that like sushi? It's different, right? I don't know. I have to try hibachi. I don't believe I've ever had it, so I have to check it out and see what it is. But hopefully you had a good time, Francois. Do you have any questions on your Immigration, green card application for Hamid. Chris and Emil, temperature will be in the 18s tomorrow night. The 18s. So it's still legal. It's still a legal temperature. 18 degrees is a legal temperature. When it gets to 17, that's when it gets the problem, right? I'm kidding. As I'm joking. Francois, they cook the food in front of you. Oh, okay. So it's like you go in front and they got this big thing. Karina understands, and they throw all the food on there and they set fire to it. And then they singe your eyebrows, your hat catches on fire, but you have some great food. Francois, I do, but not tonight because it's late and I'm sure you and Karina must be hungry. Well, I'm always hungry. Karina, sometimes she's hungry. Okay? No. Karina, ¿tú tienes hambre? No. Karina's not hungry. She's not hungry, but I'm hungry right now. But I got the office rearranged pretty good. I'm going to get some more extraterrestrial posters. I'm going to put one up here in color. So I got my UFO pictures up, and the office is complete. Let me see. Mr. Somebody, how is Karina's English now after a year in the United States? ¿Tú vivo aquí en Estados Unidos un año? ¿Tu idioma bien? She says she understands English. She's getting there. Where she works, they put her in a place where she doesn't have to interact with people. So she's, gainfully employed. But when her English skills get advanced, then they're going to put her over to another section where she'll be in a higher position of leadership. Because remember, in Colombia, Karina was the manager of 5 ice cream stores. And she kept most of them open during COVID. And the mayor of Bogota was getting mad at Karina because she kept the stores open. And Karina kept paying the federale taxes to the Colombian government in Bogota. And then the Bogota Colombian government would say, Karina, why are you paying us federale taxes? You're supposed to be closed. And she said, I'm not closing. She said, Venezuela was a communist dictatorship, and I moved to Colombia to be free, so I'm going to be free. And COVID isn't that bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. You don't close down a freaking economy because of a virus. And by the way, these tobaccos, what are they, tobaccos? These masks, they don't work. In my opinion. I mean, that's what doctors were saying. They don't block the virus because the virus will go right through it. But anyway, Karina kept the stores open, and she saved the ice cream stores. And then eventually the mayor of Bogota said, Karina, you were right. We shouldn't have closed down the economy of Bogota. But that mayor is no longer the mayor of Bogota. She's been fired, and they got a new person in there now. Because remember, Colombia, the federal government of Colombia, the Senate and the Congress are Republicans. The president is a communist who spent time in prison in Bogota, in a federal prison for un-Colombian activities. He's the freaking president. How did that happen? So the president of Colombia is a communist. The Senate and the Congress are Republicans. So they're blocking everything he's trying to do. So when the president of Colombia says, we're going to do this, the Republican Congress says, no, we're not. So basically President Petro, the president of Colombia, basically sits in his office in Bogota like this. He can't do anything because he's blocked. Why is that? Well, in July of 1990, July 4th it was, 1991, the Colombian government took the U.S. Constitution and copied it and basically added to it. So in July of 1991, the Colombian government copied the U.S. Constitution. If every country in the world would do that, everybody would be rich and happy, and there would be no wars. So the Colombian government took the U.S. Constitution, they copied it, and they added to the amendments, and they created a Congress, a Senate, a judicial, an executive. So Petro's the executive, he's the president, and the judicial is like the judges, okay, like we have the U.S. Supreme Court. They have one also. So the Colombian government is Republican, and the president is, I guess, Democrat because he's a communist. And they're blocking everything he's trying to do because he's trying to copy Biden. And Biden basically decimated the United States economy. So thank goodness the Colombian government has the U.S. Constitution as its bedrock way of running things. Because Colombia is going to stay out, is not going to collapse into economic depravity because of a communist president. And he only gets one term. The president of Colombia gets one term. It's a 4-year term, and he's out of here. Then a new person goes in there. Okay? The president of Argentina, I guess you classify him as a conservative Republican or libertarian. The president of Brazil basically is a socialist. Got to go. President of Mexico, communist. She's got to go. When you get rid of the socialists and the communists, and you put in there capitalists, conservatives, people's standard of living go up. So anyway, let's see. So Karina's English is doing good, Mr. Somebody. She's doing pretty good. I'm proud of her. I got confidence in her. She's going to do it. Chris and Emma, we will have to stay warm this week. So this week we're going to be running the heat. Okay, so I'm going to, I'll be the one. I'll be running the heat for the family, during this week because it's going to be so cold. Bahoo! Diego! Trump said he will deport so many people. That's right. He's going to deport people who are not supposed to be in America. If I was to sneak into Mexico illegally and then start saying, I want a place to live, I want free medical care, I want a free education, I want you to pay me $1,000 a month to live here, the Mexican government would laugh at me. And they'd throw me in jail first, and then they deport me. If I snuck into Colombia illegally and said, you're going to take care of me, the Colombian government would laugh at me. They'd throw me in jail, process me, and deport me. Every country in the world seems to have an immigration system that works perfectly fine. Iraq, right, they have an immigration system. Egypt, they have an immigration system. The United Arab Emirates. Now the UAE needs to help Iraq get on its feet. And Kuwait needs to help Iraq and let bygones be bygones. But if you sneak into America illegally, you're not supposed to be here. We don't know who you are. Pack your stuff and go home. Because Trump's going to help you if you don't. Okay, guys, it's time to get something to eat. Tango and bring me more. We hope you enjoyed the live stream. Thank you, Mr. Somebody, for that super chat. We appreciate you. I'm going to put MAGA pixie dust on everybody's green card and K1 visa. And we will be, pizza is a good, Chris Nemo, pizza sounds pretty good, but for me, Chris is pointing at me. No, I'm not going to eat pizza. See you Wednesday, Francois. And Sunday, what's going on Sunday? It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold Sunday. It's going to be cold. See you guys. And we're out of here. And enjoy the rest of your weekend.